Stay tuned for a retro gaming video with your host Big Friendly here at the Gen X Memories YouTube channel.
Hey everybody, before we get to the video, I wanted to share a couple things with y'all. I recently finally broke 1,000 subscribers. So I'm at like 1,020 now or something like that. So thank y'all so much for subbing to the channel, watching the videos. I really appreciate it. Hopefully I'll be monetized soon and maybe I can make a little money. Also, have y'all read this book, Howard Scott Warshaw's book, Once Upon Atari? It's really, I'm about halfway through it now. It really is funny. One of the funniest stories I've heard so far, he tells a story about Todd Fry. How Todd Fry, he said while he worked for Atari, they were in several different buildings. You know, they moved several times while he was there. This particular place they were working, it had some hallways that were very narrow. And he said Fry would scale the wall, like with his feet, and climb the wall. But basically his head was, you know, about at the ceiling, and then he got where he could walk down the hallway, and after some practice he could almost run. I mean, he said he was fast. Well, one day somebody opened a door or something and he wasn't expecting it, and so he stopped suddenly. Well, when he did, the fire sprinklers, emergency ones they have, he skinned his head on one of those things, fell to the ground, was bleeding all over the place, and they had to take him to the hospital. But it's just really funny. If you're interested in getting the book, there'll be a link in the description. I recommend it, and I'm not even done with it yet. Another thing I'm gonna do, hopefully in the next few weeks, is I'm gonna start a merch store. I've got an old Redbubble account. I don't know if y'all never heard of that. It's a place where you put your own designs up, and they sell them, and they ship everything, and then they give you just a very, very small percentage of the sale. And so I've got lots of designs based on retro gaming already over there, and I still make sales from that thing sometimes. So I'm just gonna bring those over to my own store. That's about it. I just want to give y'all all that. Let's go ahead and get into the video. All right. Hey everybody, Big Friendly with Gen X Memories. Appreciate y'all stopping by to watch the video. Now, this game by 20th Century Fox, Beany Bopper, from back in 1982. I had never played this game ever until about 3 weeks ago. I remember it. I remember seeing it, but never played it. I mean, let's face it, with all the stuff being poured into the market, we couldn't play everything back in the day. But I played it as part of a contest over at Atari Age, a high score contest, and the next thing you know, I found myself getting addicted to the game. And I was over at Twin Galaxies trying to check out the high scores for the game that are on record, and I was like, man, I'd like to try to get in the top 5. And so I proceeded to play this thing for hours and hours. So let me play a game and show y'all, and then I'll show you some other cool stuff I found out about the game. All right, let's go. All right, Beany Bopper. Now, the Beanies are those little red dudes with the propellers. There's never more than 2 of them on the screen at a time. Now, I'm sorry, but the flicker's terrible. Not when you play the game on Stella, just because of the computer monitor. So I'm sorry. So sometimes you don't see 2 beanies, but they are there. Now, the beanies, the only thing you can get you have a cannon on whatever that thing is. To me, you know what I thought that was? It reminds me of a black olive, especially when it turns sideways. You know, with that little X or a cross sign. But okay. The beanies are the only thing that can hurt you. You can stun them with your cannon and then collect them for points. Now, the cool thing is if you die, if a beanie kills you, if you can collect 4 beanies, you know, on the same life, you can get a free life. So you can only have 3 lives max in reserve. Now, I died right there. But if you're down to your last life and you can, you know, collect 12 beanies, you can replace all of them. So that's really cool. You know, everything else that falls, the jets, the parachutes with a little vent on them, the cowboy looking thing, you'll see, all those are worth points. And in anything you shoot, it will slow down, so it won't fall as fast. Now, everything scrolls downward. Sometimes the playfield will be empty, like it is now, and other times there will be obstacles, like you see those little squares coming down. They vary in size. Now, if you don't catch something, if anything hits the bottom of the screen, it turns into a beanie. See, like that? You see? It turns into a beanie. But like I said, there can only be 2 beanies at once. Now, once you catch the 4 beanies, even if you don't get a free life, these brown things, they look like you, except they're kind of tan. They start flying down, and you can rack up some extra points because they come in at an angle like that. Same thing though, if they touch the bottom, they turn into a beanie. It seems like on the surface it would be pretty easy. You know, hey, just collect 4 of these little dudes and you know, you can get a free guy, but the game is really hard. The challenge ramps up quick. The first maybe 20,000 points, it's, you know, it's kind of a slog, you know, until things start speeding up. I checked over at Twin Galaxies, and the high score on this thing is like 200-something thousand. I think the 5th place score might have been around like 120,000 points. So I was like, I want to see if I can get that. And I proceeded to play the game for many hours, just trying. And I can break 100,000 sometimes, but the game gets so friggin' hard once you hit 100,000. It's just, I haven't been able to get there. I think I may be 105 or 108, something in that range. But the crazy thing about this game is that you could do that. You can score 100,000 points, and the next time you play it, you may not score 30,000. That's what's so wild about it. And there's nothing special about this game, really. I mean, there's nothing. You know, the graphics aren't special, the sounds aren't special. It's pretty plain Jane, but just something about the gameplay of it really sucked me in. And I checked some reviews and stuff, and they're kind of all over the place. But the way I found out about it was over at Atari Age, they have a high score contest they're doing, and they'll release like 3 or 4 new games every couple of weeks, and one of the categories was 20th Century Fox, and so this was one of the games that they put on there, and that's how I played it for the first time. You know, it's crazy though, I actually had a copy of this, a loose copy, maybe 15-20 years ago, and like all my other stuff, I sold it. Long story. Wish I hadn't now, but I had a loose copy. Don't even know if it works. Never plugged it in to try it. I hate that you can't see everything. I'm sorry about that. Trust me though, it looks like you can see everything perfectly whenever you're playing. You know, if you stun a beanie and you can't catch it before it hits the bottom of the screen, dadgummit, it will just, you know, reappear, you know, off the top. And those beanies, sometimes when they first appear, they dart right at you. They're coming in for the kill. So you really got to be on your toes and be ready to move. All right, 84,000. I hate when that happens. I don't even know what those white things are, clowns or something. I have no idea. Need a couple of free guys. Alright, got one. And see, once the playfield's empty, once those tan olives start flying in, you can really, that's how you rack up. See, I just broke 100,000. But now you see how the playfield speeds up, and then it turns invisible. Now you can't get crushed by those blocks at the bottom of the screen. Neither can the beanies. You'll see sometimes, you can tell when they're getting squished down, it'll just pop out. But nevertheless, it's hard to see the rockets and everything that are falling also when it's invisible. So it's just, the challenge ramps up almost to the point where it's not fair. But obviously, I guess it's possible, because there's been some folks who scored 150 or 200,000 points, unless they cheated. So yeah, I've only got one. I need another olive, another black olive. so you can't see the walls. Neither can the beanies. Dadgummit. Last chance. Need 2 more. Come on, come on. Dadgummit. That's it. You see, it's a cool game, it really is. Let me show you some other stuff I found out about Beany Bopper. Okay, 20th Century Fox, games of the century. Now, according to Atari Age, there were 24 total games. Of course, some of these are prototypes. I think maybe half a dozen of them or so never officially came out, though some of the ROMs have been dumped. They had the really cool box art. Now, like on Alien, for instance, you know, I liked it with the black and the 20th Century Fox logo. And I guess naturally, since they own the rights to a lot of these movies, it was an easy tie-in. Even though some of the games don't even, like this is nothing but a Pac-Man clone, a good one, but nevertheless. But anyway, why not? I mean, it probably wouldn't hurt them trying to pick up some sales. Almost all their games had this same format, which I liked. Looks cool. They did have a different one for the games that weren't based on a movie or TV show, and there were 4 of them. If I'm wrong about that, y'all let me know. Beany Bopper, Deadly Duck, Fast Eddie, and World War I. Those are the ones that have the artwork that doesn't have the traditional black like we see on most of their games. Now, I thought I had seen just about every Atari 2600 video game commercial that was ever made. I feel like I had, but I don't remember this one for the game of Beany Bopper. I do not remember seeing this at all, but I remember watching and listening to this. To me, it looks like it was made by the same folks who did the commercial for a very popular and underrated game by 20th Century Fox called Turmoil. It's just something about them kind of remind me of each other a little bit, but this was one I do not remember.
Only way to really win it is to really get into it.
Last time I saw him, he was sitting right here.
Beany Bopper, Beany Bopper.
Beany Bopper for your Atari video game system. One of the new games
Pretty
of
cool.
the century from 20th Century Fox.
I was trying to find out some information about the programmer for the game. His name was Grady Ward, and I couldn't find out anything about him. If any of y'all know anything, let me know in the comments. But one thing that I did find that was really interesting is that the initial design for the game was done by Mark Turmel. And Mark Turmel is the guy that programmed Turmoil, and he is a legend. He's done dozens and dozens of games, computer games, console games, arcade games. I think NBA Jam back in like '93, that'd probably be one of his biggest hits he had, but he was only 20 years old when he was helping with this. Could you imagine being a 20-year-old kid, you know, working for these companies, developing these games? I bet that would have been such a blast. But anyway, like I said, the other fella, Grady Ward, couldn't find out nothing about him. Now, there was a couple of reviews I wanted to share with y'all. Now, this is the 1983, March of '83 copy of Electronic Fun with Computers and Games. And Ed Hulse gives it 3 out of 4 joysticks. Beany Bopper is a fast-paced shoot-'em-up, which, despite its juvenile name, offers a lot of enjoyment for those of you who feel you can master any video game in a matter of minutes. It won't be so easy with this one, we warn you. Very, very good analysis. It's very true. And let's see, at the end he says, Beany Bopper requires more than a little time, patience, and dexterity to master. It will provide you with more than a fair share of exasperating moments and lots of good fun in the bargain. Now, this thing is just a few pages. I don't even remember this. The video game update, I never saw this when I was a kid. I never saw it on a newsstand or anywhere else. But I blew this up so y'all could see it better, but they're a little bit harsher. Beany Bopper offers you the opportunity to capture beanies, bouncing orange eyes, and a variety of other falling objects with your bopper, which is equipped with a stun gun to slow things down. The bopper is nothing more than a circle, and it's an olive. It's a black olive, dude. Come on. It is maneuvered around the playing field, avoiding obstacles in a scrolling maze-like field with your joystick. Except for the beanies, which must be stunned before being caught, all objects are captured by simply touching them with your bopper. Although the action can get pretty fast at times, the whole thing seems pointless, not recommended. So they gave it 2 out of, I think they did 4 stars is the most they did. So they thought it was okay, they wouldn't recommend buying it. $35, man, it's crazy. It didn't seem like it was a big deal back then, but man, the games were so expensive. I mean, I don't, how many did y'all get a year? I mean, I was lucky going to the home video game club that I was a member of. I got a new game every Friday for a week for like $2 or $3 to rent. It was such a blast. But as far as buying games, I mean, you might have got one on your birthday and, you know, Christmas or whatever, but, or if you were, you know, doing work yourself, you know, cutting grass or whatever in the summertime. But you just didn't get a whole lot of new games. And before the crash happened, even those crummy Apollo games were like $30. Now, if you want to buy a copy of Beany Bopper off eBay, those cards are pretty reasonable. It's a 4 out of 10 on the Atari Age rarity scale. But you can see here $12, $15, free shipping. So $10, $20. I mean, some of these labels are kind of tore up. There's the Brazilian version. That's pretty neat. Whole boxed copies, $109, $122. But there's several of them on here. $145 for a boxed one. Let's see what they're actually going for. $10 with $5 shipping. So yeah, we're in that $10 to $20 range. There you go. Somebody did one as a real auction. I bet they were pissed off. They only got $60 for it on 2 bids. I'd like to have won that. That's not bad in today's market. Okay, for those of y'all that made it to the end of the video, I appreciate it. Did you have Beany Bopper when you were a kid? Did you know anybody who owned the game? I really didn't. Was it just a game that got lost in the shuffle of all those games that just poured out, you know, around that time? I think it probably was, but it has a certain unique quality about it that I like. It's a very, very addictive game. Have you ever played it? You should try it out if you hadn't. It's real fun. It's over on, you can play it on Stella for free. Gotta give the shout outs. Atari Age, Moby Games, Twin Galaxies, and Internet Archive. Thank y'all so much for your great websites, without which videos like mine would be totally boring without all the stuff y'all have available for us to use for research and everything. Thank you again. Again, for the small percentage that are still watching, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Help me out. I really want to try to build this thing. I enjoy doing the videos, though it is still work. I do enjoy it, enjoying the videos and sharing them with everybody. Okay, that's it. I'm going to go ahead and turn this thing off, and I will see y'all in the next one. Thanks. Bye-bye.